Hello, everybody. Hearty welcome to a new segment on communication skills and personality development. And today we continue with the literature series that we started last time. And today we are going to look at a lesser known sonnet of the great William Shakespeare. Last time we looked at Sonnet 116, in which Shakespeare praises love. And that is, of course, a very popular sonnet. The sonnet today in front of you is Sonnet 129, The Expense of Spirit in a Waste of Shame. Now, this sonnet is a different take on love by the great poet. The expense of spirit in a waste of shame is lust in action. And till action, lust is perjured, murderous, bloody, full of blame. Savage, extreme, rude, cruel, not to trust, enjoyed no sooner but despised trait, past reason hunted and no sooner had, past reason hated as a swallowed bait, on purpose laid to take the taker mad, to make the taker mad, mad in pursuit and in possession so, had, having, and in quest to have extreme, a bliss in proof, and proved a very woe, before a joy proposed, behind a dream. All this the world well knows, yet none knows well to shun the heaven that leads men to this hell. Well, let's look at this sonnet once again. At the outset, as you all know, the topic of this sonnet is lust. Lust here refers to physical passion in any form. Of course, the physical form of love, but even extending beyond that, any kind of irrational, extreme emotion or passion. Emotions are great, they make us human. But any emotion that is uncontrolled, wild, irrational, going beyond the limits is something that is extremely dangerous. And this is what William Shakespeare wants to convey here. Well, he describes how we all look at such extreme emotions as something murderous, something bloody, something savage, extreme, rude, cruel, which causes a lot of damage and pain. But at the same time, being human beings with our own weaknesses, we often pursue these emotions and passions. We get carried away by the physical aspects of love, and then it maddens us. So, as the poem says, that lust is something which makes the taker mad. It appears to be something joyful, but once the experience is over, it is all sorrow. It seems like something very enchanting, but in the end, it all turns out to be a dream. It brings nothing but pain. And the poet wisely ends the poem saying, all this the world well knows. All of us know this. All of us know that running after or pursuing just physical pleasure or physical beauty or short term joys, short term passions and attractions, being totally irrational in our emotions and passions, is going to cause a lot of damage and pain. It will not bring us lasting pleasure or peace. We know this very well. But we still do not avoid this so called heaven that leads everybody to hell. It appears to be heaven, but it only ends up in hell. We know this, but we end up doing this every time. So, this is Shakespeare's very logical take on love. After that sonnet 116, which was praising love like anything, Shakespeare here wants to make a clear distinction between physical love and spiritual love, between controlled emotions and passions, between emotions and passions that are humane, that do not make us forget our humanity, ethics, and values, and between emotions and passions that are inhuman, that make us forget who we really are, and that make us cross the limits of ethics and values. Well, moving on, we all had that introduction to Shakespeare in the last session, so we are going to go fast here. Shakespeare, one of the greatest literary artists the world has ever known, with a great contribution of 37 plays and 154 sonnets, a man who lived and died in England but belongs to the whole world. And of these sonnets, most of them are dedicated to the theme of love. These were, of course, his private musings and were published without his permission in 1609. Now, if we look at a closer reading of this sonnet, what are the themes of this sonnet? This sonnet, as I mentioned, makes a clear distinction between physical love and spiritual love, between humane, controlled, wise emotions and passions, and totally irrational emotions and passions. And it once again tells us not to go to an unending hell which appears as heaven, not to make the mistake despite knowing that we are making a mistake. In style, of course, this is a Shakespearean sonnet with 14 lines, 3 quatrains, and a rhyming couplet. Well, if we go a little deeper into this sonnet pits emotion versus reason. It's a very self contradictory view of love. We know that love by nature is emotional and passionate, and one cannot expect to have any kind of reasoning when one is in the clutch of emotions. However, the poet wishes to caution that uncontrolled emotion, violent emotion, which is suggested by the kind of fast paced way in which the poem is written, only brings in anguish, only brings in sorrow. The images in the poem are quite graphic. It may be that Shakespeare was reflecting the religion and the morality of his times here. It also may be that he has himself experienced such kind of bitter sorrow after forgetting his own boundaries and pursuing physical passion. Did he make some mistakes in life for which he regretted later on? Or did he see his friends making mistakes? But at the same time, Shakespeare is very much capable of describing things in which he had no personal involvement. But all in all, we can say that this poem makes it clear that pursuing pleasure which is purely physical, which has no real spiritual, intellectual, ethical basis, will soon turn into dissatisfaction and insecurity and an unending longing. So, one of the critics calls this poem as the life cycle of lust. Mere running after bodily or physical pleasures is just a moment of bliss which begins with madness and ends in despair or depression. Well, if you wish to read more on this sonnet, you can look at the critics on the screen here. And that's it for today. We conclude our session here. Thank you all for listening and hope it has given us some practical wisdom and some new perspectives on life. And in the next session, we are going to go back to our language and communication skills. Thank you very much.